Sharif D. King TV. Got my guy, LB199X.
What's up, my brother?
King Sharif.
How you?
LB199X. Kind of dope. Want to tell you straight off the bat. Gives me Super Bowl feel. Gives me big stages. But I want to know from you, what's the meaning?
Word. That's actually, thank you, because, you know, I wanted it, when I made my name, I wanted to make sure that it stands out in a way that people sees it in that way. But honestly, LB199X, LB stands for Lil Black, you know what I mean? And 1990X is my brand. And my brand is basically, I was born in the 90s, you know what I mean? So that's why I got the X right there. But it's more so about what the 90s brought to me and what I learned in the 90s, like what I ate, what I seen on TV, how we dressed, the music, you know, the culture, all that about embodying my community and being where I'm from, bringing that nostalgia. I wanted to bring that back in my music now, you know what I'm saying? Like, one thing that stuck out to me growing up was, you know, I always heard this, you are the future, the kids are the future. Now I'm the presence and what I'm doing now. So that's what I wanted to bring. I wanted to bring that essence back.
Is it a generational thing? Are you breaking generational curses with your music?
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Of course, like in my family, I mean, my dad, he was in a band, you know what I mean? But other than that, that was as far as it went. But of course, man, I've been doing music for so long. It started with sports though. Like, you know, being from here, we're big on sports. Like, either you're smart or you smart and you play sports. You know what I mean? So we grew up playing, running track, playing football, things like that. So it started with that, and then that dedication and that atmosphere always had music around it too. My mom, my dad always played music around me, and my sister always played music. So I always was around music and everything. So I always wanted to try it and do what I needed to do. So I felt like music, I grew up with it. So yeah.
Can you take me back to a time when Lil Black was playing sports and thinking about music at the same time?
Oh, of course. I used to get in trouble in practice. I used to freestyle in track practice all the time, and they used to always tell me shut up because I used to always be in the back, like battling people, or you know what I mean. Or in football, me and my cousin Marco, he was the running back. I was playing quarterback, and we had a rap group. You know what I'm saying? Back then, we was trying to record songs and write songs back then, like middle school and stuff like that. So I mean, I was always tapped into the music. I wasn't just like doing it as how I'm doing it now, you know what I'm saying? So, but music always been in like my heart and my blood, you feel me? So
that's big. That's big.
Yeah.
Now, I saw on your Instagram you just celebrated 4 years.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Color Us,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
What were you thinking about in the moment that you posted that Instagram saying, hey, we made 4 years? 4 years ago, I thought about this EP.
Yeah.
What went through your mind when you pressed send on that post?
That's crazy, because honestly, the first thing that came to my mind, like, damn, 4 years, that it flew by. Time flies like crazy. That's the first thing I thought. And then it just started hitting me like, damn, like in 4 years, what we have done since then? You know what I mean? And then like where I was at, the way I was thinking, like how I was feeling, what I was going through until now, it's like I would have never thought that I would even be this far. And even though it may seem big or seem little to whoever the perspective it may be, but at the same time, it's a big accomplishment for me, because now, you know, like when you look back at the things you do, it either gives you two things: either you failed or you look at yourself like you accomplished something. And I feel like I accomplished a lot, you know what I mean? And what I put my ideas to, and not even just me, shout out to my boy Grayson, because this project, shout out to Grayson, Countdown, you know, all my peoples, you know what I mean, like all my peoples that helped me with this, because like to be real with you, like Ayana Nash, like this project, really when we was making this project, it was one of those projects where you just sit there and you're like, all right, cool, we know we're doing something good, we're doing something great, but at the same time, you just don't know, and that's the beauty of it, because you chasing that feeling, and you chasing that, I don't know, like a high. It's like you're chasing that high that you do when you accomplish something good, and you know you put your all into it, and we put our all into it. Shout out to Countdown, because To Live and Die in America is my biggest record, and that's off of Colors. So yeah,
look at that.
3 million views right now. Yeah.
Look at that. Now, in the post you talked about being signed, getting that first deal. I know there was failures, trials, and tribulations, but was it worth it?
That's a good question. Man, to me, yeah, it was worth it. Everything I do, I think before I do. I think before I speak. I feel like me doing what I've done, signing that deal, you know what I mean, it really opened my eyes because I've been working hard to even get to that point, to even be able to be presented a contract, you know what I mean, and for me to be able to have music and be able to continue to make music, I feel like it was worth it because where I'm at now, I wasn't there before I signed, you know what I mean, but at the same time, me on the other end, like even with like my family, the time I had to spend away from my family and all of that, I feel like that part wasn't truly worth it. But at the same time, I understand that you gotta do what you need to do for you to be able to, you know what I mean, to be able to withstand what I had to withstand. Because I went through a lot of shit. A lot of people won't even be able to even stomach, you know what I mean. So it's like at the same time, I knew I'm built for this, you know what I mean, and that's why I know it was worth it because I'm still doing it. I'm still here, you know what I mean.
What was it about your mental health that brought you through? Like, how did that help you kind of progress? I know in your music you talk a lot about God. You use a lot of references there. And what I've noticed is all of the projects that you ever dropped, from the covers to the names, have themes on them about how you feel. They're very mood-driven. What about those things, like, helped you get to this place?
Shit, life. Everything, like, when it comes, it's funny you say it's like mood driven because that's how I feel like I make my music. I'm more of I make mood music. That's how I feel. Like my music is for the mood that you in. You know what I mean? It may not be the time for you to listen to my aggressive shit until you in that mood, or it may not be the time to listen to my love shit until you in that mood, or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like I am as an artist. But honestly, like life inspires me, and it really like put me in the aspect of understanding that when I make music, it's non-biased. I speak on how I feel. Music is my therapy. It's my therapy. You know what I mean? My mental health. Like honestly, making this record, making these albums I have been making, I had to go through life. I can't make music off of just fabrication. I can make it off of feeling I'm a writer, so I can write whatever. But for you to feel my shit, I have to live it. You know what I mean? So that's why I basically, like, you know, I let my inspiration come from me living. That's why I spend time with my family. That's why I spend time with myself, with my friends. You know what I mean? Because that all helps me with my mental. But to be honest with you, like even making the album Stigma, I didn't understand what grief was until I had to live with grief. I didn't understand what depression was until I had to be depressed. You know what I mean? And I ain't talking about like, oh, I'm sitting in the bed today. It was days when it was like, nah, nigga, like you not who you say you are. You know what I mean? You're not living to your best. You know what I mean? Expectations, you fucking up. You a fucked up person. Like I had to live with these type of thoughts, but I had to understand that you not what you think and what you feel. You know what I mean? You feel me? So at the same time, you can have these thoughts, you can feel these ways, but that don't necessarily mean that it's true. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, I had to get myself together. I had to be around family. I had to be around love. I had to be around the things that made me happy. And I had to understand that by going through it, not by just running away from it, because that's what I did at first. Yeah.
Let's jump to the Glenarden kid.
Yeah.
All throughout social media, you talk about how you're really from Glenarden, putting on for Glenarden. What is important about putting on for Glenarden and getting on? Are you the front runner? Are you the person that says, hey, I'm gonna put this on my back? Or is it just, it means a lot to you because it's like from childhood to now, it's helped you evolve? Where are we with that?
I feel like Glenarden, I mean, I'm gonna just say it like this, like Glenarden is a beautiful place, you know what I mean? That's where I had started my childhood. That's what my earliest childhood, that's what I remember. That's where I got my friends from. That's where I became a young man. That's where I became a teenager, you know what I mean? My friends that I still have to today are from there, you know what I mean? So my community is there, you know what I mean? So Glenarden is more than just like a neighborhood that I'm representing for, just like to sound cool, you know what I mean? It's more so about what it represents, and that's the community, the people there, the morals there, you know what I mean? And I'm not just the only one. It's a lot of people from Glenarden that's doing a lot of things, and these people are in other channels. They doing boxing, They're doing, you know what I mean, football, you know what I mean, they're doing things like that. So it's like running track, you know what I mean, in the entertainment world as well, or, you know what I mean, journalism, things like that. So people are from Glenarden that's doing a lot of things, and you know what I mean, and I just want to be one of those people that's showing like, look, listen, I'm proud about where I'm from. This is where I'm from. This is where I was raised at. This is why I am. This is who I am. This is the mecca with what you see. So even if it is a kid that's coming up that's afraid to represent where he's from because he don't know if it's cool enough, I want to be the front runner. Let him know, like, listen, you can do whatever. And honestly, like, don't get it messed up. This ain't about is like throwing hoods and, you know, people's face. It's not about that. It's about just showing us like, listen, bruh, I'm doing something from a city where I'm from, and I'm shedding light on where I'm from, and you can do it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can do it in a way like I'm doing it, or you can do it better than me. You know what I mean? As long as I'm sparking that idea. You know what I mean?
Making it happen. Now, off camera, we did talk about you moving, living in a lot of places. Mm-hmm. What was it like being a kid from Glenarden and having to move to different places to follow a dream like yours?
Oh, that shit was different. Like being from here, being from, you know, the DMV, understanding these streets, understanding these people, understanding the mentality. When I moved somewhere else, it was a whole culture shock for me. Seeing different ethnicities, seeing different people, seeing different cultures, living in different environments. All of that was a new thing. And honestly, I left home when I was like 17, so I was still a youngin at the time. You feel me? So I still had the adolescence to understand that I thought the world was mine. You know what I mean? But seeing the way of life, seeing, you know what I mean, other cultures, it made me think. It made me start to become a man. I became a man, like, away from home. You know what I mean? What I mean by that, I had to understand, like, of course, I had to pay bills at that age. I had to have my own apartment. You know what I mean? Me and my friends, we was living a lifestyle of musicians. Like,
in college,
I went to Full Sail, but I ended up dropping out. So I had to end up maintaining my, if I wanted to do this music shit, I had to understand to maintain. I had to keep an apartment. I had to, you know, do what you needed to do so I could be able to do this, because everyone out there was doing what I wanted to do. All my friends were engineers, producers, videographers, you know what I mean, managers, shit like that. So I was in an environment where I needed to develop. I was still developing at that time. I was still becoming a man about life, about who I am as an artist, what I am as an artist, and what I'm going to be, you know what I mean? So I was building those foundations there, and that helped me a lot, because those same bridges and that same foundation that I built it back then is still the reason why I make music now. I still work with the same people and all that. So.
Full Sail is a music school. What about dropping out made you who you are now?
Dropping out because I had to bet on myself. Like, honestly, I was, and I don't condone this to anybody. I just say it like this: we all have a plan, right? We all have a way that we see our future and how we do things, and step by step. And when it comes to life, sometimes it don't happen the way that does happen, but you got to learn how to adjust and adapt. That's what makes you who you are, you know what I mean? And what I found out, I thought going to school for engineering and stuff like that was the ideal way for me, which I wanted to do, you know what I mean? But it didn't work out for me because I was honestly learning by experience. I was gaining the knowledge by experience, and that's when I had to sit down and talk with myself, like, all right, I'm wasting money, and it's expensive school, you know what I mean? But you already in the field of doing what you're doing, you know what I mean? So I was literally engineering, going to studios, missing class because I spent like 12 hours in the studio session already doing what they teaching me, you know what I mean? So it was like, all right, this is either productive or redundant, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, listen, I had to talk to myself, like, you can gain the knowledge, go through school, be studious, get all this knowledge, then have to go get the experience and then get a job. Or you can sit here and get the experience and then get in the field you want to do. Experience and knowledge, it can equivalate to each other if you put the work in. And honestly, what I saw was getting more benefits by just being in experience. And I was an artist as well too, so I told myself, fuck it. If you're gonna do this shit, you're gonna count on yourself. You gotta do this, because you let everybody know you wanted to come here, you wanna do this, and now you choosing not to do school, now you better do what you need to do. So I had to count on myself.
So you left home, traveled, went to school, dropped out. Let's jump from life to the music. Stigma. Did you put a stigma on yourself?
Oh yeah, That's the first stigma that I had to understand. Stigma, I wanted to make stigma since I moved to Orlando. You know what I mean? Like in 2015, I dropped a project called Higher Art, and like the type of guy I am, I full think everything. So I already had these projects that I want to do, all this layout, cool shit, and I said I want to make a hard ass project called Stigma, but I want to do it when I initially get on a bigger platform. And I didn't know when that was going to happen. I dropped Higher Art. I dropped a project called Black Matter. And then when I dropped Black Matter, that's when I started getting into context with the label that I'm with now. And I said, wow, this is the perfect time. I said, look at God. This is the perfect time for me to be able to drop an album called Stigma. And now I can use this opportunity to do that. And that's what I did. And to be honest with you, Stigma wasn't made like sound-wise yet, but when we start making it, that's when I had to start realizing who I was. I really had to, that was a test to see who I was. Those stigmas that I was facing, all that shit, like, that's why I love this album so much, because it's ironic, like, don't get it fucked up. A lot of artists sit here and they make albums and they put their heart and soul in it, but sometimes it's not fully that. But with me, when I made Stigma, I really was making this album and living this album. That's why I really love this album. Like, I really seen this album go from nothing to something, and I had to live with this. I lost my parents through this. You feel me? I had to face myself with this. I had to even to the day I dropped this fucking project, that shit was just like on some, damn, like, this is really, I'm really living what I'm speaking, you know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing it, and I love it.
On social media, you speak about headlining your first show, going on tour, things like that. Is it now that you're realizing that you are the headliner that you have now become?
I wouldn't say like it's now. I think that's something I always knew, I felt, but I feel like what it is now is more so of what I've been doing years ago is starting to at least show concrete a little bit, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. So like me headlining here in DC or at Songbird last year, February 27th, May 27th, I'm sorry. That was a sign that like, all right, cool, like now you making your mark. And then me headlining December 27th, that following year, that same year, and basically amping it up and doing what I wanted to do at a venue that I always wanted to be at. That just let me know that like, all right, cool. Everything that you've been doing, you hitting the mark. Now, but I'm always hard on myself. Like I'm always gonna be like, I gotta do better, I gotta be stronger, I gotta be whatever. But at the same time, I'm still seeing like through action. And so I don't gotta really talk that much. I'm just showing through action and my work ethic that, listen, everything I say I am is who I am. That's what I'm doing. That's why I've been through that though. Because again, sports. If you play sports, you play football, basketball, ran track, you gotta have that confidence in yourself for you to be able to win. You know what I mean? And you gotta be on a winning team.
The winning team.
Yeah, a lot of people ain't winning. You know?
Is that what you feel when you're signed to someone of any sort? Why not be on your own after experiencing all of this?
Oh, for sure. Honestly, I'm an advocate of being. To be technical with you. I'm still independent, but what I'm doing is joint ventures. And honestly, I've been doing this by myself for so long. I already developed to the point where I am able to sit here and be like, listen, I can join forces with another entity to be able to push my music to where it needs to go because I have a plan. You can't do nothing without a plan. So me being independent, me being with a label, me being signed, whatever, it really doesn't matter. It's about what do I want and what do I see out of my career. And what I know that I needed is like, all right, cool, I can do this shit independent, but where I'm gonna get the capital funding if I don't have it, you know what I mean? If I need to go get it, if I have a place where I can be able to produce my projects and be able to put out my projects so I can be able to get the revenue and the income, I'm gonna do what's necessary. And as a business, because again, I'm an artist, but also I'm a business, and I had to remember that as well too. And if I'm talking about, I'm doing this, I'm a boss or whatever, whoop-de-whoop, I gotta understand business, and I gotta understand the entertainment business, and I do, and I'm playing the game, you know what I'm saying? So, and I know the game because I learned. You know what I mean?
And be clear, you have come a long way, but there's still more ways to go. What is it that you've done? 5 things that you've done before that you realize you won't be able to do at the next level.
Honest, well, that's a great that's a great question. 5 things. I won't be able to get back those years of me being ignorant to the game and just willfully just doing, just off of pure energy. You know how like a kid is, they see the playground, they just run. You know what I mean? That's how it was for me. I feel like now what I have learned so much would never put me back into that state of mind again. You know what I mean? So that innocence, I lost that innocence. Now it's more of it's a knowledge thing for me when it comes to this. 2, I feel like damn, that's a good question. I feel like for me, number 2 would be honestly the memories, like the fun I used to have. Like, that's real talk. Like, we used to have so much fun making music. Like, I wish that we were those type of kids back then to really videotape what we were doing, because I literally seen like a lot of artists that are now popping come up, you know what I mean? Especially me being in Orlando, Florida, and me being in Atlanta as well, and working close with certain artists and seeing how they grew. And I wish that I know I can never get that back. That's all memories, you know what I mean? So that number 3 would be the energy. You know what I mean? Now I'm more strategic. I'm older now, so I understand what I put my energy into. So shows and things like that, recording. You know what I mean? Honestly, my folks, I wish I can get them back. I wish they were here to see me do. I wish they were able to see the hard work that really had to go. Because with your folks, when they want the best for you, they want you to do what they think is right. You know what I mean? But I had to really show my mom and my stepdad, like, yo, I believe in myself. I'm good. Y'all told me well, so I'm gonna do this well. You know what I mean? I just need y'all to be patient and understand. But life happens. And number 5, I would say time. That's it. It's time. Bottom line, all of that is time. Overall, all of it is just time. I wish I just had time. You know what I mean?
You spoke about age. Do you feel like that plays a part in like who your fans are, who you were talking to, your core audience? Is that changing now that you're getting older?
Yeah, no. Like, man, everybody got to grow up. You know what I mean? So it's like now it's just more so my age. My age doesn't matter. I'm more of a vessel. Like, I look at what I speak on is more so how I feel, and I can relate to a 60-year-old, I can relate to a 16-year-old, you know what I mean? I can relate to a young kid. Only thing I gotta do is make sure that I'm channeling them in the music in a way that it can be heard. And I feel like now it's just more so me just realizing and staying open and honestly adapting as an artist to understand what is working and what is not working for my demographic. Because who I speak for, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't make music for, like, in this way. I don't make music just to please people. I make music for myself. It's my therapy. So I try to make sure that when I speak, when I'm expressing myself, it's pure enough for me to feel like when I hear this back, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? So that's how I do it.
What's the last thing you said to yourself that you always wanted to say to yourself?
I love myself. That's it. Because I grew up, the way we grew up, we didn't think, like, we didn't love ourselves, you know what I mean? We didn't care if we was going, and people probably don't even think like this or think it was like this for us, but, like, we grew up, like, not caring if we made it to 21. And that's some real shit.
Hard life.
Outside. We was really outside. We was really doing what we had to do. And it wasn't on on some gangster shit. It was just like, we didn't care about, we was kids we was lost kids for real, but we still grew up with love though. At the same time, we had love at home, but we was still in the world, and we was finding our place in the world. You know what I mean? And we didn't know how to love ourselves because where we from, love will get you killed. That's how we was taught. So
you talked about your parents. Will there be a Stigma Part 2 where it's more like a letter to your parents to say thank you?
Low key, I already like did that. I made a project called Life Goes On, and that project came out before Stigma came, and I wanted to put that out because that's where I was feeling at that moment. And to be honest with you, the way I am with art, I love my art to the point where I don't want to get I don't want to get succumbed with it. Like I don't want to get too attached to it. So I made that project. That was me. You know how they say you gotta sometimes let go, not even let go, but you gotta grow.
You gotta heal.
Yeah, and Life Goes On was that project for me to tell my mother that I understood what she was doing. Tell my stepfather I understand that for me to do what I need to do, I can't be hurt. Because when I lost them, I didn't want to do music no more. I quit music. I stopped making music. I was like, nah, fuck this shit. Like this shit is not what I want to do. I want to spend time with my family because music took so much time away from my family, from me, bruh. So that's why I was like, nah, I gotta get this time back. That's how I was thinking, you know what I mean? Then my father, my real dad, my dad, who I'm named after, he was like, nah, bro, you gotta continue. You gotta continue making music. You have to. Your mother and your stepfather sacrificed a lot for you to be able to do this. You know what I mean? Not money-wise, but time, effort, energy, all that. And he made a point. He was like, you are good at this. This is something. This is you. And it put me in the mindset of like, all right, well, fuck it. I gotta find the energy because I mean, people don't probably have. Nobody has ever went through losing a parent or whatever. But if you have, grief is real, and that shit takes time. And when it hit me, I was like, nah, man, I don't want to do this. I didn't feel it, but when I found that spark, it was like God, bruh. It was like God. God was like, nah. Like, I stopped writing. I literally went from, because I used to write. I could freestyle and stuff, but I went from writing down to literally just speaking how I felt. And when I did that, it was just like.
Whole new person.
Yeah, like, so when you talk about like me making that letter, me making Life Goes On was just me telling them basically, thank y'all. Like, I got it. I fuck with y'all. Y'all love me. Y'all, everything y'all told me, I got it. I'm about to handle business. I'm doing what I need to do.
Where we at now? You talked about the things that have affected you, the things that you've gone through, the obstacles that you've jumped over, the hurdles you jumped over. What are we doing now? Where we at now?
I'm showing people. I mean, honestly, I'm getting back to myself. I'm healing. That's what we're doing now. I'm healing, and where I'm healing at, I'm healing in the aspects of like, I'm not giving a fuck about like how people view me anymore. I ain't caring about like the perception of whatever I'm doing. I'm just doing. I'm living. I'm expressing myself. I'm being who I want to be. I'm being the man that I need to be. You know what I mean? That I see myself being. And that's the man that's taking care of business. I'm out here having fun. I'm living my life. I'm doing me. You know what I mean? Because I'm doing what makes me happy at that same time. Because listen, like being a person who try to please people, you hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't save it. Self-preservation is the first law of man. You can't help nobody else out if you don't help yourself. My mother told me that. So
Big deal.
And I'm living by that now. So it's like I'm choosing my happiness too, and I'm not doing it in a selfish way. I'm just doing it in a way that I know that I need it. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at. I'm making good music. My music is more happier. I'm traveling. You know what I mean? You know, I'm outside. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm with my friends. You know what I mean? I'm eating good. You know, I'm just taking better. I'm with my family.
Better care.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I just want to live. You know what I mean? And I really want to live, not just be alive. I want to live life. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. You know
New projects, any collaborations, things that we should be looking out for?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm working with a lot of producers right now. So I'm getting a lot of projects done with a lot of producers right now. So hopefully by the next year, y'all gonna hear a lot of more projects come out for me. But right now, I'm about to drop "Don't Test Me." The video is coming out on the 30th, on June 30th. So we about to drop that. And then 7-Eleven, I got a remix of Chestnut Checkers with my boy Malaku. You know what I'm saying? So we about to drop that as well too. And then I'm just out here with the kids, man. I'm out here in the community doing stuff with the kids. So
Lulu project.
Yeah, of course. I got a scholarship, yeah, and it's for It's actually for juniors and seniors who want to continue to understand music and do music, and that's for anything like in entertainment. So they want to do film, they want to do production, songwriting, things like that, vocals, whatever. I want them to apply and sign up, and they can win some money. And I'm also donating as well too. I donated $1,100, and I want entities to do the same thing for the community though. This for these kids, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing to give back as much as I can. It's not like $1 million, but I'm doing the best that I can while I can, just to inspire even other artists to do something like this. You know what I mean?
That's big.
So they, that's what I want to do, and I want to do it in my mom's name because my mom was big in Glenarden about the kids, and things like that. So she inspired me to give back to these kids. You feel me? So thank you, Mom.
You're paying it forward. You're paying it forward. You talked about the music. Are you looking for producers? Are we looking for a Glenarden sound? Who is it that you want to work with that's in the game, not in the game as of yet? Where we going with the music?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, low key, I work with a lot of artists that's not in the game right now, but I definitely want a Glenarden sound. I definitely want Glenarden to have his own image, his own sound, because we are our own people. But I definitely want to work with like Dre, Blast, you know what I mean, people like that, Kendrick, J. Cole, you know what I mean, those type of artists. And I definitely just want to, expand my sound and, definitely reach out to, the whole East Coast. I work with people in Baltimore. Shout out to Bush Dawson. You know what I mean? That's my homie. You know what I'm saying? So I work with artists like that. I work with like Asa, Louis Bags, these type of people. You know what I mean? Then also my boy Samuel Shabazz. He from Detroit. You know what I mean? Cino Rude Boy. He's from Sea Pleasant. That's my bro. You know what I mean? Marco Da Vinci. All these type of people. It's all local, but they still coming up. You know what I mean? And they grinding. They doing what they need to do. But on a bigger scale, I definitely want to work with the heavy hitters, the people that stepping. Is one thing. People think I'm just conscious, but I can do whatever. I can sing, I can rap, I can write songs, I can write jingles, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You said it's whatever.
It's whatever. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm at.
Before I let you go, I want you to speak to your past, who LB199X used to be, and just tell them how you feel about who you used to be versus who you are now.
Damn. You're a great interviewer. That's a great question. That's a great statement. Like, to be real with you, I would tell the young LB199X, like, be proud of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything that the ideas that you had in your mind, everything that you thought, it was worth it. You know what I mean? Don't beat yourself up. Don't be too tough on yourself. I will tell you, show more empathy. You know what I mean? Show more love. Be more understanding. Still keep that drive and be relentless like you are. You know what I'm saying? But love yourself, man, and love the people around you. Empower them. You are special. That's all it. You know what I'm saying?
Let everybody know where they can find you.
Oh yeah, LB199X. You know, that's on Instagram. Twitter is LB199X_. Google, Spotify is LB199X. LB199X. Put that in Google, you're gonna see everything that's gonna pop up. I made sure I did my homework, so yeah, y'all good, y'all straight. I got y'all.
Appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.